Dr. Nilesh?
We are live now, sir.
Yes.
Good evening, all. Behalf of Indian Society for Veterinary Medicine, I welcome you all for today's webinar. I do request Dr. R. Ram Prabhu, sir, General Secretary of Indian Society for Veterinary Medicine, to brief about today's webinar. Ram Prabhu, sir, please.
Good evening. First of all, I welcome Dr. Sandeep Patankar.
Yes, sir.
Pharmaceutics, Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Pharmacy, Navi Mumbai. When we approached him to deliver a guest lecture for ISVM, benefit of our students and ISV members, he really accepted our invitation and carry his valuable time in sharing his knowledge and nano career based pharmaceutical patients. So I welcome Dr. Sandeep Patankar.
Yes, sir.
On behalf of ISVM and the participants, I welcome you, sir. I welcome all the participants, faculty members, PG students, undergraduate students, and ISV members, and also participants from Abu Dhabi is also there. So I welcome all the participants and also our previous speaker, Vandana Madam, also to this webinar. I welcome one and all participants.
Thank you, sir. Before starting today's webinar, I would like to introduce about today's speaker. Today, Dr. Sandeep Patankar, sir, is with us. He is delivering his webinar on topical nanocarrier-based formulations, potential strategies for innovative veterinary medicine. I would just introduce about sir. Dr. Sandeep Patankar is currently working as Associate Professor at Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Pharmacy, Navi Mumbai. Sir is alumni of Bombay College of Pharmacy, Mumbai, where he completed his graduation. Sir completed his PG and PhD from KM Kundanani College of Pharmacy, Mumbai. He has 2.5 year industry experience where he worked in herbal research and development program and also carried out research work in Unichem Laboratories, Mumbai. Dr. Patankar, sir, having following key area in that lipid and polymeric nanoparticles, microemulsion based drug delivery system, gastro retention formulation, and currently he is working on veterinary formulations also. Research group is working on QBD based approaches for some of above listed formulations. His special achievements are his project investigator for ACRB DST funded project on veterinary nanocarrier. He is recipient of 3 University Mumbai research grants to undertake innovative research work in area of novel drug delivery system. He was invited as a speaker at international conference IDDST Japan in year 2017. Sir has more than 50 publication, oral presentation, and poster presentation. Such a dynamic young research worker is with us, and today he is delivering webinar on ISVM forum. I welcome to Sandeep Patankar sir and request him to deliver the webinar. Dr. Patankar sir, please. Thank you.
Dr. Garda, thank you. One correction, publications number, that is not the correct one which I had sent. Okay, it's 4 publications with others in pipeline. Okay, the one which I had sent. Okay. Annotation request. Requesting 1 minute. Somebody sent for annotation request. Okay, so namaste all. And I hope just before we start, I just confirm I'm with the coordinators. Am I audible, sir?
Perfectly.
Yes, sir. Audible and visible also.
Yes.
Carry on, sir.
Thank you.
Carry on,
Thank
please.
you. Thank you, sir. Okay, so it is June again. June, July. And then June, July are the months which I really cherish, because last year in June, I was in the region of Satara, specifically Lodand and Azra areas, where I was on field with the veterinary officers. I have attended vaccination program in the interior villages. I have been to veterinary pathology laboratories. I have seen the working there. I have interacted with the farmers there. And yes, and here again in July 2020, I'm here in the forum of Indian Society of Veterinary Medicine. So that gives me a real pleasure with this. So yes, topic which you are aware is topical nanocarrier based formulations, a potential strategy for innovative veterinary medicines. So I'll just toggle this. The coordinators I'll request, I'm getting requests for annotation requests from others. Kindly check if you have control. I'm declining here. That's why it's getting stuck. So I'll just request the coordinators.
Nilesh? Nilesh?
It's on speaker side only, sir. I can't control this thing.
From speaker, because every time I'll be getting this request.
All participants are requested not to send the request for annotation.
Yes, that is what, because that is what the slide I'm not able to. Okay. Okay, so the agenda today is innovative novel drug delivery, the concept of it. We'll see brief the concept, because I understand this forum is a very wide spectrum forum. Here we have undergraduates, we have postgraduates, we have PhD students, we have faculty, veterinary, as well as pharma faculty. So I will see to it that I do justice by addressing key aspects, key outcomes for each of these strata. So we'll briefly discuss the concept of innovative or novel drug delivery. Then topical nanocarriers, whatever research our research group has undertaken in topical nanocarriers, that I'll be sharing as case studies. Of course, this was not veterinary. It was for a pharma for which we have undertaken. Veterinary domain now I am inclined to, but I'll be by and large, whether you say humans or whether for veterinary, yes, there are some differences which will come to in veterinary, but by and large, the rationale of the drug delivery will remain same. Yes, you need some extrapolation for veterinary, which will ponder upon. And then, yes, we ought to be updated in our field. So advancements, I'll just be enlisting future scope advancements in this. And then, yes, the title says potential applications in veterinary. So this is just to sensitize the wide spectrum learned forum, which we will do. Okay. So now, what do we have as a take home for the various faculty or students? So from this webinar, what is the take home? So the take home is the veterinary faculty is identifying the thrust areas with interdisciplinary research. Now, this is the key word of collaborative research. One person or one group cannot come out with extensive publication in a short span. That is the problem, because first to publish, first to file gets the credit. And then, yes, nowadays, many journals demanding of extensive work, a lot of competition in the publication, if you are eyeing that. So you ought to have a collaborator. You ought to have interdisciplinary, and basically so that the entire outcome of the research comes, and that you are not restricted to one domain, and you're not seeing, you're just seeing the leaf, and that you're not seeing the entire tree. And then, yes, you will say, I have written understand formulation development domain. Now, veterinary will say, what do I do with formulation? That's the domain of the formulator. But this entire focus has changed in this past 4 years. I have been interacting with veterinaries and aggressively in last year. So my focus has changed that you can't remain restricted to one domain if you want quality output. You ought to understand what is the other domain into at least the headings. Yes, I know you cannot be the expert there, but you ought to know what. And this I realize in my visit, as I mentioned, that you get the other side and you get a lot of insights, and these insights will help you come out with a holistic formulation. So yes, I will sense it as, of course, 1 hour is, I will say, it's not that students will say that tomorrow I start taking a nano batch in my laboratory. No, it's not that. It's just sensitizing the forum, but you ought to understand the domain of the other side. It has helped. And then, yes, societal impact research nowadays, you see many scientists and academicians say that the fundings are freezed. Yes, partly, if you can say, if you see the current scenario, but yes, funds are being released. And the whole focus is, if the government or if any funding agency is diverting funds to a research group, what is the final outcome? Is it just publications? Is it just filing a patent? What is the outcome? So outcome-based research is the buzzword now, and you ought to give a thought to it. And societal impact, because let it be a master's student, let it be a PhD student, it is national resources. You are utilizing resources of your institute. You are utilizing the resources of the chemicals. You are utilizing this manpower. Now, this entire has to be focused for a societal impact research. What do we have for students? Students, we say normally the scenario is students, yes, अरे भैया एक e-certificate मिल जाएगा, चलो resume में डाल देंगे, भैया एक e-certificate मिला. But that should not be the approach. Now, COVID has shown us how competitive, how important it is to retain jobs. How important it is to retain jobs. Now, people are focusing, right, bhaiya, till the vaccine comes, job bacha lo. Now, why this has come? Because you ought to be the best in your domain. And for that reason, you ought to remain update. Library, maybe till the new edition comes, you don't have the new update. So you ought to be update yourselves. So yes, even if it is B.Pharm, I will say you ought to know, at least theoretically, I will say B.Pharm. Masters, yes, you ought to identify new research areas, you ought to tap, and of course, master short span where you have academic domain earlier, and then it's just orientation towards research, if you ask me. The time span which we get from master students, it's just orientation towards research. And then when you plan for PhD, you identify the thrust areas and complementary domain interdisciplinary. So here I will just sensitize the audience for what can be a formulation domain. Pharma faculty, yes, what I am going to the dosage forms, they are not new if you ask me for the pharma faculty domain. But what was the intention when I heard that even the pharma faculty is in a considerable number, I thought, what do I have to offer? So for this reason, the pharma faculty, you can take leads from the research outcomes presented. Yes, you also may have worked on these systems. You also may have worked extensively, but why redo? When somebody else has published, and maybe positive, maybe negative, both will help. So why redo the work? Why use the resources? So taking leads from research outcomes presented, extrapolate with their formulation domain expertise. Yes. In fact, for that matter, let me tell you that nano carrier-based topical, I will be focusing on only on 2 systems. It's a vast area. Don't go by the name nano. Nano is a vast domain, is a vast sea. And from that, I have picked up a drop, a microemulsion region. Okay. A nano drop I have picked up, maybe a microemulsion region. and lipidic nanoparticles. But others, it's not, they are not the only ones. You have the entire plethora of these coming. But these are my case studies which have come. So maybe they will help, and maybe the experts will extrapolate. Then, yes, more important, which I have inclined myself, why pharma faculty, that they can contribute their extensive experience to contribute to research in veterinary field. Yes, now all these, though my alma mater has been Bombay College of Pharmacy, and masters and PhD in Principal K.M. Kunrani College, Worli. It is my duty to acknowledge that the entire research work which I presented is my outcome of the research at my current affiliation, Bharati Vidyapeeth's College of Pharmacy, CBD Belapur, Navi Mumbai. So you all know this is not a new name in the pharma faculty or the pharma universities or pharma colleges. A founder member, Dr. Patang Rao Kadam, established in 1993, and we offer all courses which are known. The key highlights are we have been NBA re-accredited, and we are NIRF ranking 58. That reflects a lot about the research profile which is going on at Bharati Vidyapeeth's College of Pharmacy, Navi Mumbai. Yes, scenic view, guess where? Which is this view? I'm sure students must be saying, "Arey bhaiya, slide Patankar sir ka galti se aa gaya." He was on some vacation with his family, in summer vacation maybe, and galti se slide aa gaya. No, students. This view is the expanse of the mountains which I see from research corridor lab, second floor. Fortunately, even in Principal K.M. Kunrani College of Pharmacy, I recall we were on the 8th floor of Worli, and then if you open all the 7 to 8 windows, there you are, the expanse of the sea. Unfortunately, the ceiling was not there. So it's the sea, it's the mountains, and now the open veterinary field. Yes, what do you say in youngsters' language? I'm loving it. Now, the concept of new, novel, or I have put one word, innovative, they are all one and the same. They all reflect only two words. Now, veterinary students, if you want an acronym for this, you have been taking TS of slides. So let me see. I hope this annotation works. So time, okay. So time, temporal. During my discussion with veterinarians, they were saying, sir, handling the animal is a big problem. And we want dosage form delivery system where instead of administering thrice a day, can we have it once a day? Can we have it once a week? Can we have it once a month? This is what is the requirement they're saying. And then spatial, it is related to space, related to site of administration. Lot many things will come across. One case study, I have taken example where you have a particular site. So if you want to depict novel drug delivery system, temporal and spatial are the two words which depict this novel drug delivery system. So we have time. So time, sustained release or extended release, which are there. What is time? That is for the benefit of the veterinary forum, students especially for that matter. That is, if I'm taking a dose 3 times a day, conventional delivery system. Now I take a tablet in the night and then I get throughout the entire day, or take it in the morning and I get throughout the entire day. That you are extending, you are sustaining the release. What does this give? Patient compliance. And I hope, we are talking of patient compliance in humans, but veterinary, the job they are doing, which I have seen on fields, very, very difficult to handle the animal. And especially if you're talking of intramuscular injection, you ought to be on the field for that. And I just salute to the veterinarians from then on, really. The way they are contributing and the dedication, it's real. And spatial space, as we said, related to time. Now, why this forum? Why are formulators on this domain? Why formulators in Indian Society of Veterinary Forum? Why formulators? See, the formulator has the drug delivery instincts. Yes, you tell us which drug we'll study the nature of the drug, and you tell us what is your requirement, where is it required, and the formulator will tell you with drug delivery instincts that this is how you can deliver the drug, and at this site you ought to deliver the drug. But more important, that is pharma domain. When I want, and when I'm talking of taking up research in veterinary domain, remember the vet understands the animal instincts better. The formulator understands the delivery instincts, but the vet understands the animal instincts. And these two have to work in hand if you have to come out with a effective veterinary medicine. Now, these figures are familiar to you, have displayed because we are talking of drug delivery basically to the skin, where we are talking of the dermal drug delivery, topical, as well as to the follicles. We'll see this. So these are the common ones, and this is the schematic diagram. So what you need to understand. Now, let me tell you, these 3 slides which I'll be explaining, these are the basis of the rationale and the potential strategies you will have. So especially the students, I will ask you to focus here. In fact, after these 3 slides, even if you are on WhatsApp, checking some other offers, Amazon, yes, I will say, but I don't know from the organizer's point of view whether you'll get a e-certificate or not for there for the entire. तो बोलेगा सर ने तो openly बोला था वो सिर्फ blueprint के हिसाब से 3 slides ही है. No, but yes, these are the basis. So I want you to focus here. So if you see topical delivery, what are the major hurdle? The major hurdle is the stratum corneum. If you don't get it straight, you're cornered there. If you don't get it straight through the stratum corneum. So the stratum corneum, the outermost layer, is the most formidable barrier. So this stratum corneum, which we are talking about layer, and that is the epidermis. But yes, you have one aspect which is viable epidermis. Very, very important for us for the drug delivery strategy. The epidermis, but a viable epidermis. And stratum corneum is the most important formidable barrier. Remember this because this is the villain in your drug delivery. So topical delivery, localized and transdermal. Okay, let me check again, being student and being a diverse forum, if I am able to get the whiteboard. Slight difficulty here. Okay, so here you are. Let me check. So pardon the drawing because we used to on whiteboard, but here in the screen, but I will try my level best. If this is your viable lip disease, this is your dermis, and where you have the systemic circulation, and this is the stratum corneum. Okay, so what we want now is, because this concept is very, very important if you ought to get it correct. If I am applying a medication here, okay, if it is a conventional drug delivery, then permeating the stratum corneum is a big, big task. But if I come with novel drug delivery, then I can permeate the stratum corneum barrier and maybe come here, okay, and then this will be localized. In this, I want it localized. I want the medicine to reach here, and I want the medicine to be localized here. So topical is a general term. In topical, the keywords are localized. So there are medicines which will work only superficially on the stratum corneum, but some fungal infections which are viable epidermis, you ought to target this area, you ought to have focus, and you ought to have medicine in this area. So this is the topical drug delivery. Let me see if I'm able to, yes, clear the canvas. There you are. Okay, the second aspect, stratum corneum, you come here. viable epidermis, dermis, and then you have the systemic circulation, the subcut. The other aspect is, if I get this medicine through and through, and there it goes into the system circulation. Now this through and through is called the transdermal drug delivery. We'll be focusing mostly on the localized drug delivery up to the viable epidermis. But this concept is very important. When you say topical, you ought to be clear with this concept. What is topical localized? What is transdermal? Transdermal, yes, in some cases you want where you want a non-invasive drug delivery and you want faster absorption, less metabolism, and you want the action in the systemic circulation, you go for transdermal. Of course, this comes with a device, the patch, where you can deliver that. But in case of localized drug delivery, where you would want it here in the epidermis, viable epidermis, if this goes into the systemic circulation, then comes the side effects. Why side effects? Because it is not desired in the systemic circulation where it goes to other organs. So it goes to non-specific organs. That's what you say, this medicine, whether it has side effects. Side effects is when it is not being delivered to the site, and that is the key word, the temporal for time and the spatial for the site. And temporal, how it will work here? Now that you have delivered it here in the localized, so here you have these beautiful nano drops, and these nano drops at their pace release the medicine slowly here, tackling your causative element there. So this is how you can have a sustained release. Conventional, it works superficial. It will be only located here, but it will not permeate. So this is what I'm talking of. Spatial, yes, and temporal, it will be released here. It depends on which carrier system. That's why nano carrier. This depends on which carrier system. So I'll be talking of two nano carrier systems. One is the microemulsion, which will be deposited here. The other is the lipidic nanoparticle. Both SLN as well as NLC will come to these. And then we will see what are the advantages, the pros and cons of this. So this is your topical and transdermal. I have taken time out here on the whiteboard because this, if you understand the strategies. Okay. Let me clear the canvas and let me check toggling. Okay, there you are. Full screen. Okay, so that's it. Localized and systemic circulation. Now, parameters which you ought to consider, which are very important for this delivery. Skin permeation, skin retention. Skin retention, yes, you'll see people talking about skin permeation, but especially the skin retention partly, and then S value is not seen in many of the articles, if you see, at least which I have come across for good impact for some journals which I have come. S value, in fact, is the key indicator. Skin permeation, that it permeates, but as we have mentioned, skin retention, it retains at the site. And what is this S value? It is the dermal flux upon the transdermal flux. So what does it talk of? Dermal flux is the retention and transdermal flux is the flux which we are talking about. So this is the key word. Mind you, it's a play of flux. If I want effective drug delivery, it is a play of flux. We'll come to that when we see the delivery systems. The third slide which I was talking about, you focus on this and you have got the gist of the webinar. This is France diffusion cell. Now here you have the donor compartment, then you have this membrane, and here you localize your drug beautifully. There you place it gently. Now what are we expecting? This is a membrane simulating the skin. Of course, simulating synthetic cellular acid membrane, not totally, but for in vitro purpose. So it is an in vitro tool. And then from here, the medicament is released from it and it comes into the receptor compartment. What you need to do is you need to sample this out and quantify by a sensitive analytical tool. I say sensitive. Many publications I see analyzing by UV. I can't understand analyzing by UV because you have the skin. It's especially if you have the skin. When we are talking about R&D, this is cellulose acetate membrane. Okay, you can use a QC tool. But when I'm saying research publications, formulation development and formulating on it has to be on excised skin, rat abdominal skin. And you have rat abdominal skin, but you have quantification by UV. How will it be possible? How will it be specific? You need a sensitive method, HPLC. Okay. Other aspect which I want to clarify here with transdiffusion cellulose acetate membrane is that many say that when you are comparing, supposing you're comparing an R&D formula. I've seen this with one of the projects. The industry had this synthetic cellulose acetate membrane and they checked release through that. And then you have the your developed formulation, you're checking release. The developed formulation had a less release than that. And then they say this is not efficacious. Try to understand this in vitro tool, QC tool, which we say basically as R&D, you look at skin, you go for a bio, you see that the formulation is bioequivalent. Once the formulation is bioequivalent, desired site where, now this you run on a cellulose acetate membrane. It's your optimized formula. You run on a cellulose acetate membrane, check its release profile. That becomes a reference profile. And then every time you take a batch, it has to match this if you want reproducibility in that. So this serves the purpose. It doesn't talk of efficacy. Basically, efficacy, you ought to have an R&D, you ought to have a bio, you ought to have a clinical done. Cellulose acetate membrane is just a QC tool. At per se, you cannot say that the efficacy. So yes, these are my very own compositions, or you can say taglines, which I have read. I believe in learning pharmacy with fun. Whenever I was a graduate, I always, if I could be, I mean, during my as a student, if this can be simplified. Yes, I was fortunate for that matter. Bombay College and Principal K.M. Kundani, that groom has really helped me. And whatever fraction of research outcome is there is because of grooming. And yes, of course, the infrastructure provided in Bharati there. So permeate less but effectively at a time. That is less but effectively at a time, and retain more efficiently for a longer time if you are localized. And to reach the stream, you have to swim. This is your transdermal. So this is a message to the youngsters also. You are now your graduation, you will be in your PG, you'll be PhD. It's not an easy path, but it is not difficult. And once you are with the highest qualification, then no COVID jitters you will get, that whether I can retain my job. Of course, you have to perform. Industry, your academic record will help you enter. It will to help you sustain, you have to perform. So this is it. And then yes, the common saying, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, by Harold Goldman. That's what. Quality by design. Yes, when you see, especially again, I always have this student forum. So many registered, they must get a take home. This is a normal scenario, but the key thing is quality by design is that zero defect. That means if you are going for a formulation development, then the quality is built in by design. It doesn't all of a sudden you get up with a Aladdin ka chirag and your formulation is passing QC. No. QC will help you check whether it passes or fails. But if I have to ensure that it will pass the QC, I have to build quality from design. But one thing, while designing, ensure that the design is correct. That's very, very important. That's very, very important. So we'll sail through this. formulation development, QBD based approach, elements of QBD. Now again, typical pharma, I'm not going to details, but I'll try to explain this with an example. I am eyeing that all the strata of the audience, get the feel of this and they get. So I'll take day-to-day example for these. So one is target profile of the product, then CQA's critical quality attributes, risk assessment, design space development, control strategy. Again, I say if you get these, then entire formulation data which I'll be presenting, you will get what it is. And in that case, I'll be referring when I come to the presentation that I am talking of CQA, I am talking of quality target product profile, I am talking of risk assessment, I am talking of design space. But for that, you ought to understand the terms. Don't worry, not with the typical definitions. This quality target profile, okay, especially in COVID, if I can think of an example, I hope you all know that it was just not the better half working in COVID. That is your better half. The gentleman, I would like to tell, everybody had to work. Everybody had to work. There was no option, no maids. And then you ought to sometimes many celebrities saying, "Are me bhandi ghasu to ghari hi ghasu to." Yeah, why not? Why not? Because it is a combined effort. Okay. So now one example from that is, I hope your better half might have told you, "अरे माझ्या चपात्यांना नाव ठेवलं होतं, चला आता कोविड मध्ये आता मेड नाही तुम्ही एक चपाती बनवा." So then she gives you a target product profile. एक चपाती बनवा, make a chapati which is round, फुल्का बनेगा उसका and is edible. This is the target profile given to you by better half. So now this is your target profile, you have to work on this. Critical quality attributes. Now all husbands must have learnt in COVID. पहले तो पता नहीं था. So you get atta. See, let me share with you why this example, because my mentor, Dr. J.K. Lala, used to always say, and he used to always say that students, if you want to be a good pharmacist, you have to be a good cook. And yes, he was. He was a foodie, and then he loved preparing at his home and loved serving. So CQA आटा, अभी फॉर्चून आटा बोलो या फिर चक्की पे पीसने को दिया हुआ आटा बोलो, what is important, if you must have realized, कि that atta has to be of a proper mesh size, putting a rather the particle size. And if it is not done properly, then you will get it wild. So CQA is proper. That is a critical material attribute in the atta. What is the material attribute? Processing, I hope you know, your better half preparing the dough. If she's annoyed with you, there will be a lot of shear pressure on that while preparing the atta. If she's happy or she wants some, okay, sorry to this, but if she's happy and she wants to keep you happy, then it will be soft. And then this atta, the shear varies. So I am one critical material attribute, Ramdev Baba atta bolo, Fortune wala atta bolo uska, or processing parameter, how the shear is done. Critical processing parameter, shear kaise laga gaya. Yes, you can have a roti maker also for that. Now, what is the risk assessment? Risk assessment, what is the target profile given? That this has to be edible. Yes, she told you it has to be edible. So risk assessment, if that critical material attribute is not proper, ये edible नहीं होगा, तो वो दिन का खाना निकल गया आपका. Then risk assessment, अगर ज़्यादा पानी डाल दिया, it must be happening. You must have experimented. I think by the end of month you were with a good chapati. Design space development. What is this design space development? Design space development is that you have experimented. You have taken a lot of preliminary batches for the formulation, and you have experimented. You have experimented this atta with this much water. ये consistency मिल रहा है, चपाती बनी नहीं भैया. This atta with this, अरे भैया pasty semi-solid हो गया. This atta with this, yes, this works. Now, what is design space development is that these preliminary batches, you can relate to formulation. These preliminary batches when you take, so let's say there are two variables factor which is affecting your response. A and B are this, and finally you get the response, a very good edible chapati. Okay. So you have experimented atta of this in this, let's say for 5%, whatever, and then let's say 20% water. Then next time you ought to, this is not working, 10%. And then you are very cautious, maybe 15%. Now, what is design space? What is design of experiments? You have all data of this. So you get a range. अरे आटा भैया 5 to 20% में काम कर रहा है, चलो. Water, if I am in the 10 to 30% range, then it is working. So all these, but you have got to output, mind you, for every trial you got a response R1. For the other trial you got a response R2. It's working fine. Now y equal to fx is the keyword which you have. So you know that your response is varying when you vary the variables. Now, what is design of experiments? You leave it to the computer processing. You give the input, then it comes out with a savior to you. It can be fx1, it can be plus f1x1 plus f2x2. You get an equation. Now, this helps you predict the response in a design space. Control strategy, what you're talking about? Control strategy that yes, the critical material has to be proper. Control strategy that I need not exceed this much water. And then product life cycle management, continual improvement. Yes, if you have proven in COVID that you can make very good chapatis, mind you, it will be there with you for continual improvement. Okay. Then again, I will not go into detail by ought to, because the entire flow, you pre-formulation, before the formulation, you do the formulation development, then CGMP for manufacturing, you do the stability program, clinical trial, analytical method, and clinical phase, preclinical phase. So mind you, it's a big task as a formulation. In fact, let me share with you with one of the research projects, research proposal which we are working on. Coincidentally, the student got my number. I, as a formulator, and it was a veterinary institute, the student got my number. He told me, then every day morning in that phase, when I go to office 9 o'clock morning, he says, sir, he gave me a call. Sir, I have to write my synopsis in 1 week. Sir, मुझे एक पैराग्राफ ड्राफ्ट करके दे दो with nano delivery in it, included in, and novel word included. I asked him, okay, for which animal is it? Small animal or large animal? Sir, nahi kuch nahi sir, veterinary ke liye hai. Then I asked him, what is the material? So he's saying, sir, it is oil. So which type of oil? Nahi sir, wo hum abhi folklore mein hai wo oil. But sir, now yeah, no clue whether it is a small animal, large animal, pet animal. No clue about the critical materials. How am I going to commit? Okay, how am I going to, and you're talking of 1 week, 3 months academic stability testing, 6 months industry. That is after the formulation development, after it's developed. You ought to have the stability, just not getting the product. Yes, you mix, you get an emulsion, you mix, you get a tablet, but it has to be stable, mind you, for the entire shelf life. And that goes long. That is why this forum sensitizing both domains. Yes, veterinary domains also. We ought to look into criticalities because the vet understands, but there is these aspects also. So how do I commit? Do I commit, and then what is the typical Salman Khan that ek baar commitment kar li to main khud ki bhi nahi sunta? No, it's not that. So this is the entire cycle. COVID vaccine, people are waiting. अरे भैया अभी things will be clear. June में आ जाएगा, August में आ जाएगा, September में आ जाएगा. It takes time for development. It takes time, but hope so. Yes, it comes. Hope so. Aggressive research. Hope so. Collaborate. Hope so. Scientists collaborate all over, share their data individually, and then come out with one for the betterment. Hope so. Now, nano, when we say this is my daughter, she's in 3rd standard era. She says, Papa, mujhe ilu ilu. These are very observant. She heard of this song. It's an old song, but she heard in one society function. So, Papa, ilu ilu pata hai, par ye nano kya hai? So let us see. Yes, a lot of speculations. Nano size by definition 1 to 1000 nanometers. Nano carriers, when we are seeing for drug delay. Again, I'll not go into details of this. Okay. Our purpose is here a discussion open forum where we get the strategies. So micro emulsion, one region. Imagine a emulsion, oil in water, which is clear, transparent, isotropic. This is a solid lipid nanoparticle, which you can see the structure, and this is a NLC. The difference is this is solid lipid, and you have a solid as well as liquid lipid with its own advantages. And these can be used for drug cosmetic. That is only introduction I will give you for good enough for our purpose. Then I tagged these formulations then which worked as nano yes papa formulation. She asked me what is this. So if this, so this is research outcome which I'll be presenting. So case studies of our research group. The one is micro emulsion for anti-acne we have worked on. microemulsion. Just imagine is one delivery system, especially the veterinary firm will say microemulsion is one delivery system. And what is the strategy here? We incorporated this we had this carrier for a volatile oil. This was an anti-acne project. Anti-acne essential oils were there. Not goli, it's microemulsion, which we have to administer. Okay, so strategy, what is the strategy? Follicular targeting. Size is the keyword. Now I told you about CQA. In this case, that CQA is the size of the nanoparticle. And what is the site? The follicular targeting site. We'll see to this. The second was microemulsion, that is antifungal top. We have discussed enough these in detail. I told you 3 slides. I hope the students are still there. अरे भैया सर ने तो बोल दिया था ये 3 blueprint वाले slides है बाकी तो. And the other is the SLN NLC antifungal strategy. Here is adhesion. In fact, the latest transdermal topical guidelines you will see as a special consideration for adhesion. And strategy, process parameter optimization. Process parameters, that is the shear we are talking about the ATA. How you give the shear, you give it manually or you give it with the ATA maker. Okay. So process, we'll see this. Again, not going through the details of this. This is just a template which you can say which will work, but we have to sort out together. So acne now, demodectic mange, which I have seen, one case studies we'll see, that is in demodectic mange, we have a lot of essential oils reported which can work. Now, of course, I don't know, it can be a holistic, it can be a supportive, because if you have seen the images of the mange in animals, in dogs, it will give you jitters. So first, what we tried, many formulation approaches we tried here. Individually, we saw that each oil is working. So 2 oils we selected having eugenol content, and we saw synergistic effect, and we got a synergistic effect. One of the formulation strategy. The other is the antibiotic resistance, which you have a problem. If it is gross, you give antibiotics. How much what is the frequency? So these herbals people are looking into, because they will tackle the antibiotic resistance. Safety, yes, say you say by default herbal it is safe. Economy, yes, if you're talking about antibiotic, and alter people looking at alternate treatment. Now this is the strategy which we are talking about. So follicular targeting. So demo gather is where it is entire life cycle is in the follicle. So there you are, you apply it topically and it will be retained in the follicle here. Now why is it? The size is the keyword. Other conventional formulation will be superficial here. But if you have a nano drug delivery, then it will go, the size is the keyword, it will go, it will harbor there, and it will tackle your villain there in the follicle. It will take care of the villain there. And what is my tagline for this? Size reaches the site because of the nano size. And this leads to enhanced efficacy height. Naturally, the efficacy is going too high because you're targeting it directly one-on-one. The mange mite, you're targeting one-on-one at the follicle. The life cycle, root cause you are tackling. These will be entire data. I'll just give you the highlights of this data. Zone of inhibition, everybody is aware. So we worked with the critical material attribute, that is individual, each oil, he's giving the action. This was third-party certification, okay, that it is active. And then this was herbal. So one more tagline I have, when it is herbal, you have to overcome a major hurdle. I hope you all know what is the major hurdle, quantification, but we managed it. We took eugenol standard from Sigma, very costly. That's why we need collaboration and we need funds. This was our standard curve with R equal to 0.999 as desired. This is our eugenol standard peak, and there you are at somewhere around the same RT, we have the oil. This was, of course, a reported, and mind you, this was a HPLC quantification of oil. It was a reported method. We had not developed it, but we utilized it. That's why, why do research again when it is there? So we utilize it for quantification. And then there you are, the peaks for quantification. Now, Herbal, this is my tagline: when there are many, pick up only the ruby. So Herbal, you have plethora of constituents there. Polyherbal you are talking about. Now, what all do I quantify? So when you want to quantify, what you need to do is pick up a ruby there. Pick up one which is majorly responsible, in this case, eugenol. Pick up one which is, and tag the ruby out there. You tag the ruby, and what you do is you quantify this. Your formulation will be effective because you're taking care of the fundamentals, what is responsible. Other, yes, Ayurveda says it's a holistic treatment, so all is required. But in herbal, if you're talking of this, then pick up, when there are many, pick up the ruby. Then typical microemulsion phase diagram, just understand that it is a microemulsion system having water, oil, surfactant. So this is the design experiment which I was talking about. You go with the ATA experiment, what I had told you, simple to remember here, where you have the surfactant, co-surfactant in particular ratios. You can select your design, very, very important. This is simplex lattice, which we worked on for the oils. Then with that, we saw the flux. The entire table, what you have to pick up is what is the flux and what is the permeability. So you have the flux. Flux is the, if you have this membrane, the amount of material going through per unit time per unit area, the amount of material. So this is in micron per centimeter square. Now this becomes your response value, which you have to assess. And based on this, you can check the efficacy if you want flux through the skin. Again, typical statistical, you just pick up what we want. I will help you with that. P-value significant less than 0.05. This is what people are eyeing for. Are bhaiya, yes, significant. So it will suggest you which model. What, see, for you to understand here, simplified, there are various models based on whether the ingredients only individually they are affecting, or within combination they are affecting as an interaction. If you go into the details of that, but p-value is a significant here, which you ought to. Again, typical, which students enjoy putting colored diagrams in their thesis. But what is important, you have to see what is the interpretation there. This is your equation which the design of experiments has given you. The flux which you want to calculate, I'll help you understand. This is S for surfactant, co-surfactant. So let us talk material 1, material 2. This tells you what is the effect. If minus, then if you're increasing this material, the response will be in the negative side. If it is positive, if you're increasing this material, the response will be on the upper side. So that is the most simplified which I can give you explanation. Simplex lattice, after you get validation, is very important. See, now the software predicts that if you mix in this ratio, you will get this response expected. What the software has done, whatever input you have given, it has analyzed and it has come out with the optimum. That is the basic you have to understand here. The second solution it has given 43. Now this is predicted by the software. You ought to check what is your QA. What is the response? Antibacterial activity, we are talking of the p-acne. And there you can see the zones of inhibition by the typical method. You can see here, clindamycin was the standard. You ought to have a standard here. And the Viomix at equivalent to 0.2, we got 27, which was comparable with clindamycin 32 and way ahead of 16 and 17. So that is how. The stability study, very important. In short, if I prepared a formulation, it must retain its product characteristics throughout the entire life cycle of the product. That is the key. So yes, you have the ICH guidelines which talk of the protocol. What you need to do here is subject your product to various environmental stress, humidity, temperature, because the excursions which you will be having, and check that the product still retains its product characteristics. That is the simplified way of stability. So yes, my students, let me, are fortunate to have students who even, see, by the time you submit your thesis, you only have the formulation ready with the optimization. Stability is pending. I always report in my that stability data will be provided at the time of Viva, and we do go with that data. So students, but I must appreciate after that in industry, but they do come maybe on Saturdays, maybe on Sundays. I give help with my juniors and they do perform the stability studies. you will see that in the entire data, we have quantified this is 3-month stability data. And here you have the same RT as you have the standard. 4075 is the keyword for stability. This is a generalized temperature and humidity conditions which talk of the stability. So my tagline for this is, unless it is stable, it is not dependable, which may lead to trouble. फॉर्मुलेशन तो बन जाएगा, टैबलेट कंप्रेस करोगे तो बनेगी ना टैबलेट. ऑयल वाटर सर्फेक्टेंट के साथ मिक्स करोगे तो इमल्शन तो बनने ही वाला है. You must have understood with this entire formulation flow effect. Call it it is a is in product is Marcident, it is product. That's the case approach. Of course, this applies in life. All of you will not get results unless you invest that to the undergraduates. Invest now. Whatever now your time energy. Yes. As I mentioned, in 1 hour, it may not be possible that if students maybe PhD or a project mil jayega, I will get to know now which disease, which API, which formulation is microemulsion, is lipidic nanoparticle. No. One representative example I have taken. The keyword here is the hair follicle, which you are talking about. And I feel the microemulsion with the results which we have got can work here. You ought to sit, we ought to sit together, mind you. And these are the treatments, current options. You can see what can be the advancements on this. Sarcoptic mange, again, topical treatment. The life cycle says, and animals affected by sarcopenia. So this says borrowing. So we ought to find out. You give us the drug. You tell us what is the requirement as a formulator. Let us understand the physiology, because it is going to vary by and large. The skin thickness, the skin area. Yes, the fundamentals are going to remain same. But we ought to sit together. I can't say as a formulator that I can come out with a veterinary formulation. No, I need the help. At the same time, veterinarians cannot say that if we just get this, we can know. So this has to be, and I appreciate the Indian Society of Veterinary Medicine Forum that the formulators also, we see senior scientists coming here who have authority in this domain, and you have done. I really appreciate this. This has to be done at all levels. So skin formation, I have given you antifungal topical. Viable epidermis is the target. Localization in the skin. Microdrug reservoir, that means it is there. You have the oil and you have it in the water. So the drug is here. It will release slowly from here, from this oil. That is why it's a micro reservoir. It is there at the site where you want, and it will suppress the fungal growth. Then screening, I will not go into these are formulation details. We have done by HPLC. Then the goals we have set, what is the flux required? Design of experiments, one thing you have to remember, yes, the design is there. Input daloge to output aane wala hai. You feed it, it is going to, but you ought to know which design. This is my tagline, design of experiments, don't experiment with the design. Ye dal ke dekh lenge, you put this and then see what the output is not working, put in, no, don't experiment. And ensure that the ladder is not on the wrong wall. Stephen Covey says this, that is, yes, you put in efforts. Symbolic, climbing a ladder is effort. Yes, B.Pharm, M.Pharm, PhD, Bachelor Veterinary, but see that you have a goal in mind. I always tell my undergraduates, my PGs, have a goal in life, orient towards and take steps, take that every step is you ensure that you're not on the wrong wall. This is typical, again, the optimal, where we have seen. What I want to highlight is the flux every time as a response we have taken on skin, very, very difficult with the variabilities in the skin. So this student, he has taken flux every time for the design in the skin with HPLC quantification, and we have done skin retention with HPLC quantification. Laborious task, but he has managed it. And then the model, if you say, sometimes some values, again, don't details, the predicted R square and adjusted R square have to be close neighbors. 0.2 is this. If it is not there, then what you have to do is, that means there are some interacting agents which are not responsible for the response. Just eliminate these non-significant hassles. And for that is the tagline, trim it to ensure a perfect fit. It ought to fit. If you ought to trim the variables non-responsive, you can remove them. This is the analysis of variance. Again, you go by the p-value less than 0.05, which we are seeing. This is the response surface, evaluation. Then here we are, this is now, that was anti-acne on this. This was Candida albicans and skin retention we have seen. This is the entire data which talks of enhanced efficacy. Here we have used Candida albicans. So here you have 17.85% enhancement in the microemulsion. Stability studies. Here you can see the tag here, 3 months on a plate. The student has come after though on job, and yes, we are fortunate that the laboratory is available, of course, with sir's permission on Sunday if you work. So if there are critical where we do, I mean, there is no restrictions there. If you mean work, there is no restrictions there. And the optimal design, yes, ensure that it is optimal. Skin stripping, which we have done, where if you ought to check whether the drug has reached the strata, then this is a familiar, this where you go on stripping it, and the layers where still the stratum corneum is removed, and ensure we have done HPLC quantification here at the site. Strip gently, yes, you ought to hunt at the desired site judiciously. In vitro data which is there. Then on similar basis, the fundamentals are going to remain same. This is nanostructure lipid carrier. I will give you the gist of it, which I am sure the pharma colleagues, the fraternity would want that. That is what. So this is NLC where we saw the enhancement. Yes, we have some. Then this is my thermosensitivity gel, vulvovaginal candidiasis, where incorporation at the anatomical side you'll find difficulty. So it is in liquid form when it is introduced, and there when you go, a common phenomenon of course, but you ought to use it at the right time for the formulations. It will gel and it will be retained there. So this is the common pattern. Force degradation studies to check the stability profile, stability data here we have. Then this is the zone of inhibition strategy. Yes, mucoadhesions, where we have gel provided and release. Histology of vagina, this again, size and adhesion is the key strategy. What all it gives? Better coating at the anatomical site, homogeneous dispersion, and enhanced local antifungal efficacy there. Size is the keyword, that is your CQA, and increase residence. So you ought to have excipients which will increase residence, especially the mucus turnover, which is here we found with solid lipid nanoparticle, we found lowering of the dose by half. So the conventional marketed product is 0.8%, and we got the results at 0.4%. I will now give the gist. There are instability issues in lipidic nanoparticles. On standing, you ought to address them. We had put up a presentation in ICT with these. I recall the evaluator asking, there were 2 posters, the other group, my students couldn't make it. So I was there for the poster and the other student was there. Evaluator came, he had displayed this instability. The evaluator asked him, director of a organization, pharma, have you reported this in your thesis? He said, yes, and we have discussed what can be the possible. He said, this is what industry wants. So it's just not 1 month stability data pass, 2 months stability data pass, everything rosy. No, identify the problem. The solution is in identifying the problem. So it worked here. Then critical process parameter, again, equipment for that matter. Pharma will, this is not new, but veterinary, just one equipment, which is for nano, where you are processing it by first high shear homogenizer with probe sonogator, and the other with HPH, high pressure homogenizer, which is for the industry. So we have this unit, Nero Suavi. So here what we varied is the pressure. So this is process. Earlier we were the formulation components. Here we varied the pressure, and let me give you the gist of all this. And yes, cell line studies we have done on Heckart cell lines. This is I have so that it doesn't sound to be advertisement of the lab, but yes, it was a project sponsor. The lab was certified by DST, so that we had validated results to carry out. We have done the MTT assay on Heckart cell lines. You have to see not only stable, whether it is safe. So MTT assay, the typical array, you know, and this was what we were happy with the given sample is non-toxic to Hecat, formulation 1, formulation 2. These are cropped images. Okay, so this is it. If it is safe on desired cell line, it has potential to reach the product pipeline. That is my tagline for this. And if I'm talking of topical, very important, irritation, and it is not toxic. So सिर्फ product बना के नहीं होगा. You have to ensure it is stable. You have to ensure it is safe. So this is by Hecat cell lines we have done our 3 formulations. Others are in the pipeline with maybe with funding, maybe with collaboration. We'll manage that. Now this is what the key outcome. Maybe the pharma colleagues will be happy this to see. If you see the pattern which I've done, I've used a drug. Mind you, I've not labeled the drug, just pardon me, because this is all data pooled for publication. We have not yet published. We didn't want to release it unless we have extensive data on that. So, but of course, presently it was master students. I have worked with T3 with a microemulsion for one project. Then this I gave to the next student, came for NLC 1% on high shear with probe sonicator, and then we gave high shear with HPH with the processing variables. So here we have this different formulations. So you will see from microemulsion to NLC to SLN, but SLN of course with HPH. This is NLC with, so we are working on extensive data. We will get this on HPH also. So key thing is the skin retention, you see enhancement. And T4 we have worked where we have a microemulsion first, and then we have worked for SLN. So we find out the possibilities in the molecule in and out. So this data is not yet released, but high time that we release this data with these results enhancing which we get, so that we can have a comprehensive research in good impact journal. That is the why the data was held. Many times problem with holding as data is someone publishes, that was one of my molecules, someone published on UV skin, but yes, we can tackle it because our was in public domain earlier to that. So let's see, we'll tackle that novelty issue if at all it comes. And then advancements we ought to touch upon. Frankly speaking, we have not, our research group has not worked on it, but we ought to know. You have dermatopharmacokinetics. Yes, partly you can say our skin stripping, we have dermatopharmacokinetics. In vitro prediction, skin permeability, radio labeling, you can do in silico modeling, you can do especially for solubility in microemulsion. It will be convenient, and AI is the buzzword. We had a renowned speaker who talked about this on veterinary medicine. Yes, these are, but frankly speaking, we have not worked on it. Yes, but we are looking for collaborators with this extensive data where it can be extrapolated. Concluding remark, I started with whether there is anything for the student. Yes, I guess at least for the undergraduates, both pharma as well as veterinary, some domains which you can, some concept which you are talking of nano, we have been talking of nano. Ira has been saying, oh, papa, ilu pata hai, nano ka hai. So I tag this as nano, yes, papa formulations, which have worked. And concluding remark, I hope I have utilized your time on weekend. I understand at 7 p.m. and all of you logged in. Both on this as well as Facebook. I hope I've utilized your time. That is the purpose. So concluding, yes, students have a take home. The faculty, yes, let me see. This is just one nano drop which I am working on. So there'll be many more collaborators who have worked extensively with other this. All of us, we need to sit on a common forum, the veterinarians, because we need you. We will not understand the animal. And yes, this is our central analytical lab at Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Pharmacy. So here you have the HPLC, 3 HPLC units. You can see here, you can see the particle size analyzer, NanoFox. Here you can see the NeuroSolve Panda, and then we have the FTIR here, and we get samples for analysis. And and yes, I will be failing if I don't acknowledge my mentors. Dr. Jolly, whom I was registered for MPharm. I'm still in connect with him. He is at Thrissur now, and then on weekends we do have a chat, sometimes going to half an hour, 45, not pharma. But yes, he has given the gist, and as the name suggests, he was a jolly good fellow. He is a jolly good fellow, as the name suggests. And then he has given a lot of inspiration. He said, Sandeep, lecture practical. Okay. And then Dr. Lala, PhD. Yes. And Poddar sir, he has not taught me. There's some echo. Let me check. But he has me as a teacher, because when I was the junior most in KM Kundrani there, I had the benefit of the experience of all experienced faculty. But Poddar sir was sharing the subject, and yes, my research guides they have given me the research grid. Lala sir, I hope all of you know, the college was known by Lala's college, the industry people that used to call him, and he has given the drive for us. So it started well with Dr. Jolly there as one expert in pharmacognosy, and Lala sir, we still remember, he's no more now, but he has left the legacy behind. He has given us the grit to struggle, fight it out, and whatever 0.1 fraction in academics or in teaching or in research it is there, it is because of these. And Poddar sir, aggressively for lectures, he has been my tele friend. New subject, night I used to sit in the evening after I come, and then he has entertained a half an hour, 45 minutes, still I understand. So yes, research mentors and Poddar sir, train the trainer. I owe a lot of them to these. And then finally, I will be faltering if I don't acknowledge my research group. These are my students. Okay, they say do SWOT analysis. My strength is the research contributed by these students, and my weakness is their affection towards me. So all of them for that matter, but it started with Amit Mirani. He is a, you can say him a free radical. He will infuse you with sincerity and lot of in-depth, sir, ye karenge, sir, wo karenge, sir, ye karna hai. In fact, this invitation as a speaker, risk-based approach was based on the article published by me in Drug Delivery and Transference Research. So yes, it is because of the students. I did go to present, but the work was what he has carried out here at Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Pharmacy, and what he has done, the inputs he has given. Yes, sorry for this informal photo. Whenever it is students, I can't miss Ira because she knows each and every of them. And yes, when I asked for these photos, my students, I saw if I'll be in the regular tie and this as in the forum, I'll not be part of them. I mean, I look to be odd man out. So that is it. And our motto is follow your passion with empathy. The cosmos is bound to bless you with its full glory. Our students, we are active on cultural front also. So because I do compositions, so it was come from an evaluation. There is what I learned, nanotale. So 2 line you have to give the story. So students had done well. I evaluated and then said, why not? Let me write one. So the nanotale is a formulator met the vet. Since then, the animals never wept. That is the nanotale. This is our research. As a speaker, I had been there. I presented a poster also there. Colloidal carrier-based delivery for azole antifungals, R&D success and failures. Mind you, we have depicted the failures and we have proposed potential solutions. We are on the process of working on this. So thank you all again. And I must thank the ISVM forum. And yes, job was easy, I will say, because we had authority in nanotechnology earlier to explain the basics, Professor Vandana Patraule. And yes, we are fortunate. In fact, I'm fortunate to be part of a collaborative team where she is there as for guidance with her expertise, and she has added a lot of impetus to this project. So we hope to do well there. Okay. Thank you, organizers.
Thank you, Sandeep Patankar sir. Thank you, and we really appreciate the nanotale tagline you have. It means given for us, and whatever the topic or webinar you have covered today is really very wonderful. Our veterinary fraternity, especially veterinary medicine person, they undertake or they just understand all the explanation given by you in proper way, and definitely will think to develop some veterinary specific nano formulations for our animal therapeutic management purpose. And this is the actually, sir, motto of Indian Society for Veterinary Medicine, to call the person who are expert in or it means drug delivery system and other thing. So there are 3 to 4 questions. I will take that questions serially. There is one question from Dr. Sujit Kumar. You want to ask current challenge. What are the current challenges and future of lipid nanoparticle formulation for topical drug application?
Okay, good question. If you ask me, that is what we had faced lipidic nanoparticles, if you have seen my the research outcomes, if you have seen the lipidic nanoparticles had better efficacy, of course, in vitro there, with ex vivo also in skin retention. So if you have seen, let me see, it will be, if I can, yes, there you are. Okay, so challenges and pros and cons which you are talking about. So this is a microemulsion. Let me get the highlighter. Where we have checked the zone of inhibition percentage. Skin retention we couldn't do here because we had a lot of outliers. We are working on this. We have not presented the data of skin retention here, unfortunately, in microimmersion. Because of the outliers, we'll be going through animal ethics committee protocol approved, and we'll work on that. But if you see the zone of inhibition, at least you can make out. It has improved for NLC, of course, with one process parameter, that is the equipment. High shear homogenizer with probsonic. And if you see which is there you go. So lipidic nanoparticles are giving, as per this one data, you ought to have a statistical data. And here, if you see microemission zone of inhibition, of course, in vitro, with one molecule, that is what you extensively, the SLN is given with HPH. But question bang on target. Let me come to that slide now. It was within one forum. How do we, cover all? But now that question has come. We did report instability in lipidic nanoparticles. Yes, it is giving better efficacy. But in short, the structure is this, and it moves to a stable structure. Just understand, no alpha and beta for that matter. It moves to a stable structure here on standing. That is why the stability studies are very important. We must encourage the students to do stability data because your product speaks. Product on shelf speaks. Remember this. The product speaks and it talks a lot about this. So what happens is that in lipidics, especially SLN, this one goes to this structure. Now, with this, the point of contact is less. But with this structure, that can combine, and then you increase in particle size. That attacks your CQA, that is the particle size. Now I remember this, recall this student who had worked on this. I'm fortunate that my students report issues. Okay, not that, so that manipulate the data integrity is most important now in industry. I was fortunate that students reporting to me, sir, this is the problem, because they know we will find out ways of interpretation. Mind you, in thesis, negative data is not a problem, even in veterinary, whichever domain you're talking. What you can do is learn from them. If you deny the problem, you will not get a solution. So this particle size we observed. So she came, sir, I have to submit my thesis and particle size. So I said, not to worry, we'll check literature. Of course, SLN is a common problem of polymorphic transformations. But I told her, in order that you put it as a proper discussion, she came across with a good research article. And then we found that all across the globe, this is the researchers have reported this where it is actually done, where the particle size increase is there. There are ways and means how you can tackle this. For that, you need a pharmaceutical engineer. That's what I'm saying, interdisciplinary domain. So you need a pharmaceutical engineer for that, and we can tackle, we are working on it, but then yes, as and when, based on this. So lipidic, yes, you have the advantage, and especially in skin retention, if you ask me, lipidic will have the advantage. Now that discussion, because see, let me put on this slide only. If it is flux, you don't want through and through flux, through microimmersion in some cases. If it is lipidic, because it identifies the lipid bilayer, the retention is relatively longer. Of course, there are a lot of formulation variables, but instead of this, the retention is longer and you will have an advantage. But then you have to work on the stability issues, not only stability issues, the industrial applicability issues. That's why HPH, high pressure homogenizer, but the amount of energy, that's why you have nano, but very few nano formulations you can see with this because of these constraints which are there. But then with interdisciplinary work, it can be sorted out. I hope I have answered the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Again, sir, there is one question from A. Ganorkar. I have a question. in one article, I read that some nanoparticles do not dissolve and many accumulate in body. So if we use nanoformulation in animals, is there any possibility of releasing residues of this nanoparticle in milk?
Okay, one more. These questions are bang on target. One more, this issue, what I guess, I don't have the article now with reference, but I guess this is a metallic nanoparticle, what the gentleman, the scientist is referring to. So this must be metallic nanoparticle, which, yes, that's why you have toxicity issues, or it can also be polymeric nanoparticle for that matter. Many polymeric nanoparticles on degradation, you get the monomers because it's a polymer. I hope you know it will be average molecular weight. So it depends on the basic nature of the formulation. So metallic, yes, and otherwise polymeric, lot of degradation, and then these degradants, they degrade. That's why the stability issue which you're talking about. That's why if it is unstable, then it is an alarm. It is not dependable because that calls for trouble. So you are talking, but if you have lipidic nanoparticles, so I hope you all know bilipid layer membrane. So lipidic nanoparticles, you'll have no compatibility issues. That is what we are talking about. That is the beauty of lipidic nanoparticles. Even microemulsions for that matter. What you have oil in water, we have the oils. Of course, for microemulsions, though you have oils, you have to check the percentage. That's why you come with the preliminary batches you ought to take before you run into the design, that certain oils are toxic to the skin. So though you may get a microemulsion, but in that level, in that concentration, if you are getting the oil, that oil may be toxic. So it's just not I got a microemulsion, it's just not I got a flux. You ought to check the toxicity. For this reason, as I've told, we are working, I hope, HACCAT cell lines, that is the skin cell lines. We have got extremely positive results with the data pooled up till now. We were happy we hold the data, and 3 cell lines we have done, and you ought to prove the efficacy. And so lipidic nanoparticles, so even microemulsion for that matter, and lipidic, but lipid, you have the advantage. But mind you, the major issue is the stability. Lipidic nanoparticles, stability is the major issue, especially with SLN. And yes, even if you have stable, then the application part, the amenability, industrial amenability, all that is going to play a major role. I hope I answered that question.
Sir, again, there is one question from Dr. Norma. Good evening, sir. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. A doubt which I would like to ask is, does the species difference affect the in vitro permeation and skin retention? Any experiment conducted to check out this?
Beautiful. Yes. You ought to see, basically in industry, once you have a bioformulation, you have the synthetic membrane. That's why, see, to check the reproducibility, you take one uniform membrane. You ought to be careful about the pore size which you are using. If you are taking from a supplier, you ask for a supplier synthetic cellular acetate membrane, you get one pore size. The next time the supplier changes, or the supplier, his resource changes, you ought to check. If I am validating the data, that the pore size, you ought to check that. It's just not that store cellular, yes, in the cellular acetate membrane, and that it's. So now you're talking of the species difference. Yes, there is going to be a species difference. What you can check is that the commonly approved with the Animal Ethics Committee protocol, you have in the rat abdominal skin, but you can have sometimes, in some cases, the pig skin also. I guess the veterinarians, this is what I'm thinking. This is where we ought to sit together on a common platform and work out strategies. There are going to be differences. What I can suggest is that keep one fixed membrane. So for relative effect, if I'm going to see. So if you are using a rat abdominal skin, per abdominal skin. If you are using a pig skin, then keep a pig. So basically, it cannot happen that for one formulation, I use a rat abdominal skin, and other formulation, I use a pig skin. The data is going to vary. You are going to get false positive results, or you're going to get false negative results. It is going to not only that, the skin conditioning also for that matter. So by and large, see, many times, if it is approved protocol, many times, sometimes you're from the abattoir with permission that, yes, we'll be using from this. travel time is also very important. Where is the abattoir? And till the time you come to the lab, I have been working on brain targeting microemissions for brain targeting drug delivery too. I have not projected it here. So there, the skin is so sensitive. We had worked on goat nasal mucosa. The skin is so sensitive that if you don't take proper precaution, that is the in-transit travel. If you are not taking proper precaution, you're not going to get results. And by and large, see, if I am putting up for a sustained release, I'm putting up minimum 12 hours or maybe 8 hours based on feasibility, how early you come to the lab. Okay. So you ought to put it in the day before. So you ought to know the soaking solutions also for that matter. Mind you, it is just not buffer. You ought to know which soaking solutions, how you're, why that. If I'm excising from a rat skin, if there is subcutaneous tissue, how the subcutaneous tissue is removed, that is the major tackle. That's what I told you. We got an outlier there because, see, good you have brought out this point. That is, I'm saying I run a design experiment and 13 runs, maybe I'm saying every run you take a skin. Now, it is not possible that 13 pieces you get from the same rat. It is highly impossible. Max 2 you can get. That means the rat is varying. Now, rat is varying, the nature is varying, how you are fed, the weight of the, of course, you by and large, it's a range. You can't have a point blank weight range that all of this. So there is going to be physiological differences. So why species differences? Even in the same, we have been facing this problem of validation. Why it is even if it is the same species, if it is not removed properly, skin sometimes it is thick, sometimes it is thin. For this reason, you ought to have a statistical data, and that is how it will work. I hope I have answered this question.
Thank you, sir. Sir, today Professor Dr. Abdul Samad sir, he has joined our ISPM webinar on this nanoparticular drug delivery system. I request Dr. Nilesh, can we unmute the mic of Samad sir?
Oh, Samad sir. Oh, I'm fortunate on this. Oh,
actually, he is the pioneer as far as the drug development
yes, sir.
in veterinary are concerned.
Unmuted, sir.
Sir, yeah, sir, are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, please, sir. Sir, welcome to Indian Society for Veterinary Medicine Forum, sir. And
Thank you.
just whatever that means, queries or questions are there, sir. It means free to ask on this forum, sir. Please.
Sir, first, good evening, sir. Dr.
Good
Samad.
evening, and congratulations, Dr. Patankar.
Yes, sir.
Excellent talk.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
It's appreciation from you.
I thoroughly enjoyed your talk.
My pleasure, sir.
I think what you have mentioned is very correct. That our scientific community lag behind only because of lack of collaboration.
Yes, sir.
And the problem starts right within the institute. We don't want to collaborate with the neighboring lab. We don't want to collaborate outside the institute. We don't want to collaborate intra-faculty. So, but if that is done, we can do really wonders, and that is what we could do initially when Galdar was doing PhD and we had Nuclear Medicine Center. We had
Yes,
very
sir.
active and vibrant collaboration. Only two observations, and of course, those are my difficulties. I'd like to ask you.
Yes, sir.
You see, in case, let's say, in case of pet animals, the size is, right from 250 gram, dog to, 80 kg dog.
Yes, sir.
100 kg dog. And therefore, the skin morphology, the skin thickness, it all, is highly variable. So if there is a topical solution, how are we going to address that issue? Number one.
Okay.
Number two, can we also use some, something, which will enhance the membrane fluidity? Because, that is why, that is how we would be then able to, increase the flux of
Yes, sir.
our active substance.
Yes, sir.
And secondly, I was curious to know whether there is any strategy which has been published where we can give the drug parenterally, but it is targeted to skin.
Okay. So first, let me mention that one year back, I was trying for your appointment because Dr. Samad in veterinary domain. I guess that time you were in US maybe, and we couldn't work. I am very, very fortunate, sir, to have you and this ISVM and this day. So that is one, sir. I'm thankful to ISVM for this. So what points you mentioned, talking of fluidity, yes, sir. If we can, that is what we have the advantage in micro immersion. So that is what 1 hour at all to include and to sensitize the audience. But let me tell you, sir, micro immersions basically have surfactants in them.
Oh,
Now, these surfactants, of course, you ought to be careful about in what percentage. That's why the DOE experiments which you have to put up, you have to be careful in what percentage, because surfactant, as we know, unless it is, even if it is non-ionic, got to be careful in that case. So these surfactants, sir, if used judiciously in the right concentration, with a proper DOE, that's why I said that don't experiment with the design. You ought to know which design. So these, sir, now it is at a micro level. This, you can see a transient fluidization of the stratum corneum. In fact, that is what the strategy of the surfactants. But sir, I mean, fluidization, if I'm using, I will not, use it in a larger magnitude.
okay.
That's micro scale. So that's why you have this penetration and you have the deposition at the site. So yes, sir, this strategy you have rightly, sir, this is what, how, where we do. But sir, frankly speaking, this is my research output with for pharma domain, which I've seen, but with my inclination to research. So what we need to understand from veterinarians is what is this difference? To be very frank, sir, that's why my title is potential. See, fundamentals are going to remain same, but we ought to sit together to understand the difference. As one a participant also rightly asked, so is there going to be difference? So for this understanding this difference, we ought to check from you. But sir, by and large, if it is a skin and if you have the right constituents in the right concentration, you can we will be able to overcome that, because by and large it is finally permeation and skin retention. So micro immersion, sir, will have that advantage of fluidity, and we can work out that, so that can be done.
And what is the maximum concentration we can get in through, this dermal route?
Maximum concentration we can get in. So now basically if you talk of dermal, sir, if you see even transdermal topical products which we see, first criteria is they ought to be potent. So yes, so what you are saying is there is a limitation, especially if I'm talking about topical transdermal, they ought to be potent. Then the multitude of other things you have to take care. If it is potent, then you ought to have a very, very sensitive analytical method to detect it. So you ought to, in some cases, it can go to GC, LCMS, or whatever, depending on this. So potent, yes, there is a limitation. In fact, based on Dalton's also, sir, you have a limitation with molecular weight also of the drug.
That's right.
Not all, you can't have big molecules in some cases unless you have a strategy. Mostly it works for small molecules in a specific Dalton range. So that is one of the criteria if I'm talking of topical products, that I have to check the Dalton, the molecular weight, because not all, but yes, with working with strategies, we can come out. The other question which you mentioned, so I hope this is clear, sir.
Yeah.
This part.
Yeah,
Okay. So other portion which you mentioned from systemic, you're talking of skin, sir.
Yeah.
So normally the reverse which we have, sir, skin, and in fact the advanced technologies which we have now for transdermal is the microneedle approach, sir, for transdermal. So microneedle, these are painless injections, okay, where you can have effective delivery. But then of course one more domain comes, sir, that is fabrication of the microneedles. So you ought to have a collaborator there. That is what, sir, we ought, it is an interdisciplinary work now. And if we have to come, I feel personally, sir, with a holistic approach, then we ought to all come together. In fact, that is what I'm saying. I personally feel for COVID, sir, we have US working on the other lab, we have India working. If you have your research findings, why not have a common platform? You share your research findings, and these put together can work for the betterment of mankind.
That's right.
because the scenario which are there, youngsters, jobless, it says that you just hold your job this year, don't talk of. So, sir, the focus has to change. We ought to come, but I'm happy, sir. ISVM has initiated this because formulator in this domain, somebody, even I was for that matter, that how the presentation will be, because I can't talk the jargons. At the same time, even pharma faculty is there, I ought to value their time. So I tried level best with common examples, and wherever specific technical questions were there, I hope I've addressed them, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you have made things so simple for everybody to understand. You have very rightly given the basic knowledge. How you can
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Galdar.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. There are again two questions. I will take it.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, one question is there from Dr. Rashmi Bhade. Have lipidic nanoparticles being tried for intramammary infusion in cattle as far as mastitis is concerned?
Okay.
Because mastitis is also one disease in our animals where
Yes.
inflammation of mammary
It's
gland
in
is there,
cattle.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, it's in dairy animals, sir.
Udder. Yes.
Yeah. So, have lipidic nanoparticles being tried for intramammary infusion? Is willing to ask.
Okay.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Yes,
Please,
sir.
please, sir.
Now let Dr. Patankar. Then I'll come.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. With discussions with veterinarians, what I gathered is what we are working for is it's the time between the milking. So supposing you're milking it today and the time span with which you are milking, in that region, it is open to infection. So if you can have simplified formulations where you can have a formulation code, I guess with simplified always you may not. I mean, it's just not lipidic nanoparticles every time. Sometimes if you have simple solutions, why not try them? So simple solution will be if it can form a temporary coat there where you are preventing the entry, which is biocompatible, and then when next milking it is required, so there of course the literature will have to see, as I mentioned to you, sir. I have given one case study with demodetic which I worked on. Now you ought to have analogy and we ought to sit together that what are the issues and what all can be worked on. So yes, if you can see literature based, but that I feel there you need a simple solution if you can have that. But in one go, I mean, we cannot have we have to take it case by case, sir. Disease case by case and sort out what are the pros and cons. And in fact, try to come out with simple, effective solutions also sometimes. Because lipidic nanoparticles, if you're saying, then again, the industrial amenability comes. Whereas if you have a simple solution, biocompatible, which can protect the purpose for that matter, why not? But yes, it can be a research area, and if we can with literature we can make out that. But I feel that it just because when we say nano, it's not as Ira says ilu ilu pata hai papa hai, nano ka hai. So I feel sometimes you have to look out for simplified solutions also. I hope I have answered that question.
Yeah. Okay. I think the question the lady has asked.
Yes, sir.
I think it's a lady, who has asked this question. You see, there are she has in cases of mastitis.
Yes, sir.
No, in mastitis, one of the biggest problem, is Staphylococcus infection.
Okay.
And Staphylococcus infection is intracellular. And
Okay.
that's why what happens when once there is an infection in the mammary tissues, and if
Okay.
bacteria is inside the cell, then it's
Okay.
very difficult to get rid of.
Okay.
Number two, the problem is animal is lactating, so anything which you give is not really going to go because there is also a barrier of milk which has accumulated in the alveoli.
Okay.
So therefore, during lactation, treatment of mastitis becomes very difficult.
Okay.
So as far as nano is concerned, there are three different areas where we have worked last 5 years.
Okay, sir.
One of the area where you have rightly mentioned is we can put a barrier to entry of the pathogens in between the milking.
Yes, sir.
And we have come up with a solution there. We call it barrier technology.
Okay, sir.
Where we have used certain biodegradable polymers
Okay.
which are derived from natural sources only.
Okay, sir.
And then when you dip the teeth, it forms a very thin film.
Okay.
And the matrix is such that the pore size is less than 0.2 micron.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so bacteria cannot enter, but there is aeration is there, so you don't have growth of anaerobic organisms. So that is one area where you can work on, say, different kinds of barrier films, as we have rightly pointed out, where you can put a barrier on entry. It becomes a very simple kind of solution because if you have to use it twice a day, with every
Yes,
milking,
sir.
it's cheap also. It can be expensive. So it
Exactly, sir.
should, 5 paisa or 10 paisa, per dipping, it's the cost. Then only it will be accepted in the field. The second is where we can give an intra-mammary at the time of drying off.
Okay.
You see, once the lactation is completed, the animal is dry. Is no more giving milk.
Okay.
Then there is a 15 days window where the sphincter is still open and bacteria can enter.
Okay, sir.
That is a very high risk period. So for that we have developed a sealant kind of nanomaterial.
Okay, sir.
Where if you give it intra-mammary, it forms a seal. Again, it's a physical barrier. You can also add some antibiotics, like we have done with neomycin. We have done with silver nanoparticles. So you can add that also. It slowly releases the antibacterial, say, over a period of time to take care of any residual infection. But the seal remains till it is not removed, with physical agitation. So you can keep it up to 45 days or 50 days, and then once the animal starts giving milk, you can remove the seal and then milk starts coming. So there are different kinds of solutions which you can develop in veterinary, but every time it need not be nano, because as Dr. Patankar has rightly pointed out, nano has got also problem of commercialization, because once you want to go to industrial stage, that scale up, all other facilities that are needed for, then the stability, like rightly mentioned, lipid merging size is increasing. So a lot of these issues also need to be tackled.
Okay, sir.
So here, 1 minute, sir. So this is, I'm really thankful to, sir, the information you gave on intra-mammary. That was information to me, sir, as a formulator. I was not aware of this approach which has been worked out. And I'm glad, sir, this forum, there is a two-way dialogue, just not a one-way dialogue. And sir, thank you for this update, sir. We'll really think of these strategies where we can have this enhanced holistic approach for the veterinary medicine.
There is one more
Thank you, sir.
strategy. You have just mentioned about stability issues.
Yes,
so
sir.
We have been working with Institute of Chemical Technology. You may be knowing Dr. Devarajan.
Okay.
She's developed a technology which we call in situ technology. Now the difference here is you don't prepare nanoparticle in the manufacturing process.
Okay.
You prepare nanoparticle at the time of administration. Okay. So it's a kind of a solution which is available, which is just a suspension, and if you add that into 5% dextrose, it forms nano
precipitation. Okay.
Nano precipitation, and then you can inject. So your problem of keeping it for a longer period of time, you have all those issues of manufacturing. So it's manufactured like any other fluid, any other liquid, comes in a vial, and then you have to just add into, say, 5% dextrose, and within half an hour you can start giving injections. So we have developed a formulation for buparvocone, as well as we have done another formulation for rifampicin, for brucellosis.
Okay. So what I would like,
another approach, where you can simplify the manufacturing process rather than preparing a nanoparticle inside. Then you have all those issues of separation and purification of nanoparticles. You can have and it's working wonderfully. We have done more than 500 animals we have injected, and we have found very good results.
So that is what I mentioned, sir. This is just one nano, one specule of the ocean of nano, which two systems which I've worked on and have presented. But I'm
Thank you,
glad,
sir.
sir, if we have all these in
Thank
this
you.
forum, all scientists
Sir,
contributing.
Thank you very much for your
Yes, sir.
interaction and your input, sir.
Thank
The
you.
last
Thank
two
you.
questions are there. One question is there from Dr. Aditya Dixit.
Okay.
She wants, sir, even the homeopathic medicine use nanoparticles of metal. How to check for toxicity possibilities? And second is from Dr. Rajeshri. Kindly comment on regarding stability of microemulsion after rubbing it to skin.
Okay. Regarding homeopathy, to admit, frankly, I have not worked on it presently, not my domain, so I'll not be able to comment. I'm sorry if I'm not able to answer, but what I don't know, I will not comment. Regarding stability, somebody, sir, pardon me, kindly repeat the second question. Dr.
Sir,
Ardhar,
yeah,
kindly repeat
comment
the
on
second.
regarding stability of microemulsion after rubbing it on the skin. When we are going to rub this microemulsion on skin, what is the stability of that formulation? That Dr. Rajeshri is willing to ask.
No, for that matter, microemission by definition, I didn't go by the definition jargons here, but by definition, it is a thermostable, low viscosity, isotropic, clear. So what we have here is a thermostable one formulation. But if you are talking of stability, it is a fluidity. You will not have any stability issues unless with pressure, what you're talking about in some cases topically or micro sponges. But that pressure release is again for delivery purpose. So I don't think there are no issues of stability for that matter. You just ought to get the design right. You just ought to get the micro emulsion region right. And after you prepare the micro emulsions, blank micro emulsions, you ought to check that the drug in which percentage you are loading, that loading also it takes up this. See, for this matter, for any topical, the stability, if you have to run, then it will be your centrifugation is one means by which you can say a check. Then topical products, if you want to check, especially if there's a change in viscosity, then you can have the cycles of freeze thaw. But these are for any formulation. If I'm putting up this as a formulation, all these by default we check the stability. On rubbing, there is no issue for that matter. In fact, you want it to permeate, but stability, yes, on shelf life, you ought to be careful. Whether on centrifugation you are having any problem, and after having a topical product, because of the exertions, if you are going for a freeze thaw cycle, that is, you keep it at one temperature, warm temperature for some time. After that, you give a cycle of cold, then again. So it is rigorously comes there, and that should not be any problem. I hope I have answered this question also.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, thank you very much for delivering webinar on ISPM forum. Now it's time that I'm requesting Dr. Ajay Katoj to propose vote of thanks for today's webinar. Dr. Ajay Katoj, he is the executive committee member of Indian Society for Veterinary Medicine. I request Dr. Katoj to propose vote of thanks for today's webinar. Dr. Katoj, please.
I hope I can be heard.
Yes, Ajay. You are audible.
Yeah. Good evening, the esteemed members of the ISVM. First of all, I, on the behalf of the executive committee, would like to thank you all for sparing the time. And first of all, I would like to thank the speaker of the day, Dr. Patankar sir, and he gave a good insight on the topic. He gave a good insight on the topic, and I also personally like the tag, And as regards as the participants are concerned, the participants, they were from the countries, not only from our country also, but they were also from Abu Dhabi and Bangladesh also. I would like to thank them from the core of my heart, and the participation of students that were overwhelming, and the that included the highly esteemed and the stalwarts of the ISM, such as Dr. Samas, to the fresh students, BC and AH students. So I, on the behalf of the executive committee, thank you all from the core of my heart, and also the president of the ISVM, Dr. Nariel, the general secretary, Dr. Ram Prabhu, the coordinators, Dr. Galdhar, Dr. Nilesh Hindu, and Dr. Shankar Singh, for their ever-ready help in and organizing this webinar. So thank you, one, and have a safe day, and stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.
So just 1 minute, sir. Before that, thankful to ISVM and thankful to Dr. Gardar. I put it this way that Dr. Gardar is the most radioactive among the one of the most radioactive veterinarians.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. With this, I would like to conclude the today's webinar. There is one announcement for all the participants. The certificate for this webinar will be issued to the registered participant in 15 days time. Again, from ISVM Secretariat, there is appeal that those who are interested to become a life member of Indian Society for Veterinary Medicine, link is provided in the chat box. And if you need any help, the contact number of ISVM Secretariat is given for your needful contact. With this, I am again thankful to all for joining the webinar and making this webinar as a grand success. Thank you very much. Namaste. Good night.
Thank you.